Miss Tejasri Kosbe, lecturer from Pravin Patil Polytechnic, Bhayandar. Today's topic is Measurement of Electric Power, Part 4, Learning Outcomes. At the end of the video, you will learn about three-phase wattmeter, equations of power, why to measure reactive power, measurement of power in DC, and measurement of true apparent power of a single-phase AC circuit. So what is the three-phase wattmeter? The three-phase wattmeter is used for measuring the power of the three-phase circuit. In three-phase wattmeter, the two separate wattmeters are mounted together in the single unit. Their moving coils are placed on the same spindle. Three-phase wattmeter has two elements. The single element is the combination of the pressure coil and the current coil. The current coils are considered as the fixed coil and the pressure coils are the moving coils of the wattmeter. So in this, the same single phase wattmeter you can use as a three phase wattmeter, but you have to use the two single elements to make it as a three phase wattmeter. So the single element is a combination of pressure coil and the current coil. The current coils are considered as the fixed coil and the pressure coils are the moving coils of the wattmeter. Working principle of three-phase wattmeter. It works on the principle that the torque develops on the current carrying conductor when it is placed in the magnetic field. The measurement power when passes through the moving coils, the torque develops on the coil. The torque is the type of mechanical force whose effect can deflect the object in a circular motion. So the principle is same as that of the single phase wattmeter, that current carrying conductor is placed in the magnetic field, then it experiences a force. In three phase wattmeter, the torque develops on both the elements. The value of torque on each element is proportional to the power passes through it. The total torque on the three-phase wattmeter is the sum of the torque on individual wattmeter. So in three-phase wattmeter, we use the two element. So the torque developed on these two elements is proportional to the power. Let's understand this with the help of mathematical expression. Consider the deflecting torque develops on the coil 1 is D1 and the power passes through the element is P1. Similarly, the torque develops on the coil 2 is D2 and the power passes through the coil is P2. So the deflecting torque of element 1 is directly proportional to P1 and deflecting torque of element 2 is directly proportional to P2. So if we consider the deflecting torque of these two elements separately, so deflecting torque of element 1 is proportional to P1 and deflecting torque of element 2 is proportional to P2. The total torque develops in the coil is expressed as total deflecting torque proportional to P1 plus P2 is directly proportional to P. Connections of three-phase wattmeter. Consider the circuit has two wattmeters. The current coil of both the wattmeter connects across any two phases C R and Y. The pressure coil of both the wattmeters connects across the third phase C B. The mutual interference between the elements of the three-phase wattmeter will affect their accuracy. The mutual interference is the phenomena in which the field of two elements interacts each other. In three-phase wattmeter, the laminated iron shield is placed between the elements. The iron shield reduces the mutual effect of the element. So in this, there are two elements. So the magnetic field of these two elements affect each other. So to avoid this, the iron shield is placed in between these two elements. In this diagram you can see there are two elements. In the first element is connected in R phase, the second element is connected in Y phase. The mutual effect can compensate by using the Western method. In Western method, the adjustable resistors are used. This resistor compensates the mutual interference that occurs between the elements of three-phase wattmeter. So by using ion shield also you can avoid this error, and by using the Western method, that is by using adjustable resistors also you can avoid this error. So in this diagram you can see there are resistors are connected to avoid this mutual interference error. Next is types of power. The power which is actually consumed or utilized in an AC circuit is called true power or active power or real power. It is measured in kilowatt, kW. So there are basically three main types of power. First one is active power, second is reactive power, and third is apparent power. So the active power is the power which is actually consumed or utilized in AC circuit. The power which flows back and forth, that means it moves in both directions in the circuit or reacts upon it, is called reactive power. The reactive power is measured in kilovolt ampere reactive, that is kVAR or MVAR. So this power is also called as useless power because this power is not used in the load. It simply flows through and back to the supply. So this power is not utilized by the load, and because of that this power is called as reactive power, and unit of this power is VAR, that is volt ampere reactive, or kVAR, that is kilovolt ampere reactive. Next is apparent power. The product of root mean square RMS value of the voltage and current is known as apparent power. This power is measured in kVA or MVA. So last one is apparent power, which is the product of RMS value of voltage and current, and the unit of this power is kVA. kVA or VA, volt ampere. Next is the equations of power. Active power, three phase. For three phase active power formula is P is equal to root of VL-IL cos phi. For reactive power in three phase, which is denoted by Q, the formula is root of VL-IL sin phi. For apparent power in three phase, which is denoted by S, is equal to root of VL-IL. Next one is active power in single phase. Formula is P is equal to VI cos phi. For reactive power in single phase, formula is Q is equal to VI sin phi. For apparent power in single phase, S is equal to V into I. And the formula for the connection between these three errors is reactive power S is equal to root of Q square plus P square. Next is why to measure reactive power. So reactive power simply travels from source to load and back from load to source. It is therefore the useless power and hence should be minimized. This in minimum reactive power correspond to phi equal to 0 degree, that is for a purely resistive circuit, whereas the maximum reactive power corresponds to phi equal to 90 degree, that is for the purely inductive or purely capacitive AC circuit. So this reactive power is minimum for resistive circuit, but for inductive and capacitive circuit, this reactive power is maximum. So reactive power should be minimized by improving the power factor. The energy meters installed to measure the energy consumption do not measure the reactive power. So the energy meter we use to measure the energy, they cannot measure the reactive power. They only measure the active power. And reactive power should be minimized by improving the power factor. Okay, to improve the power factor, we have to reduce the reactive power, because this is the useless power. Whereas if the resistive part of the load impedance increases, then the reactive part will decrease. Reactive power in a wattless power and consumed because of the presence of inductance or capacitance of the circuit. So if there is a capacitance and inductance present in the circuit, then reactive power increases. Increase in reactive power causes the reduction in power factor. There are several disadvantages of poor power factor. The supply utility has decided to pay incentive or charge penalties if part of consumer increases measure the reactive power, so that corrective measures can be taken accordingly to maintain system power factor closest to the unity. So if there are resistive loads in the circuit, then there is no issue of this reactive power. But in industry or in consumer side, mainly loads which are used in this industry or consumer side are inductive in nature, and because of that reactive power increases and power factor is reduces. So to improve the power factor, we have to use some methods, and if we doesn't use that method, then because of the poor power factor, the supply utility may charge you the incentive or charge penalties if the power factor is poor. The apparent power is given by V into I. True power is given by Vi cos phi. So ratio of true power or apparent power is given by Vi cos phi upon Vi, which is equal to cos phi. So cos phi is the ratio of true power to apparent power. So power factor of inductive circuit is lagging, power factor of capacitive circuit is leading, power factor of resistive circuit is unity, and power factor of RLC circuit is found by cos phi equal to R by Z is equal to R upon root of R square plus XL minus XC square. So this is the formula for cos phi, that is R by Z, and Z is given by root of R square plus XL minus XC square. Next is active and reactive components of current. Consider a lagging power factor circuit where current I lags voltage by power factor angle phi. Resolving the current into its two components, that is I cos phi and I sin phi. The component which is in phase with voltage is called active component. So in this diagram you can see the I cos phi component is in phase with the voltage, and this is called as active component. So I cos phi is the active component. The component which is in quadrature with V is called reactive component. So I sin phi is the reactive component. So in this diagram you can see the I cos phi component is in phase quadrature with the voltage, and this component is called as reactive component. So there are basically two components, active component and reactive component. Active component is denoted by I cos phi and reactive component is denoted by I sin phi. Next one is power triangle. If we multiply each side of current triangle by voltage, we get power triangle as shown in figure below. So in this diagram you can see there is a power triangle. The product of voltage and active component of current gives the active or true power. Hence the active power is equal to VI cos phi. So by multiplying current triangle with voltage, we get power triangle. So the product of voltage and active component of current gives the active power, which as formula is VI cos phi. So on the x-axis you can see there is active power, which is given by P is equal to VI cos phi. The product of voltage and reactive component of current gives reactive power. Hence reactive power is VI sin phi, volt ampere reactive VAR, and the product of voltage and current is called apparent power. Hence apparent power is equal to V into I in volt amperes. So when we multiply reactive component with voltage, we get reactive power, which is denoted by VI sin phi, that is volt ampere reactive, and product of voltage and current is called as apparent power. So apparent power is V into I. Measurement of power in DC. Power in DC is the mere product of V and I. So question of power factor does not arise. So to measure the power in DC, only formula of power is V into I. There is no question of power factor. So the diagram for measurement of power in DC is shown in this diagram. There is a voltage source, that is battery, 1 wattmeter and the DC load. Hence the measurement of DC power wattmeter may not be needed. Voltmeter and ammeter serves the purpose. As there is no power factor in DC, so we can use ammeter and voltmeter to measure the DC power. We don't need wattmeter to measure the power in DC. So by simply connecting ammeter in series with the circuit and voltmeter in parallel with the circuit, we can measure the power in DC with the help of the formula V into I. So V into I is equal to power in DC. Next is measurement of true apparent power of a single phase AC circuit. So the last point is measurement of true apparent power of a single phase AC circuit. So in this diagram you can see the ammeter is connected in series, voltmeter in parallel, and wattmeter is also connected in circuit. So the wattmeter reading W is equal to true power. So the wattmeter gives you the true power. Product of voltmeter reading and ammeter reading I is the apparent power. So wattmeter gives you the active power, and if you connect ammeter and voltmeter in circuit, the product of these two gives you the apparent power, which is V into I. Next, calculate the power factor by the formula W upon V into I. So by this formula we get cos phi value. So power factor is cos phi. From cos phi we can work out sin phi. So by cos phi we can calculate phi, and by phi we can calculate the value of sin phi, and the formula for reactive power is Vi sin phi. So by calculating sin phi you can calculate the reactive power also, which has the formula Vi sin phi. So by this method you can also calculate active power, reactive power and apparent power in single phase circuit with the 1 wattmeter.